Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? This is your Saturday live question and answers, one rental at a time. I look forward to this hour. This is always a good time. I like to see where people's heads at. I like to hear about different markets. It's fun to see. It's fun to see confidence and belief grow. And I like getting into the questions and, of course, going deeper, making sure I answer them. I think historically, when we did them kind of preceded, it always I was left guessing sometimes, and I always did my best to answer the question, but sometimes I just wasn't sure. So we're going to do another hour of live Q&A. If you are joining, make sure you put your questions. Just say hi if you want. You can hit that like button. We, of course, do daily financial news 7 days a week. So if you'd like to get your financial news, you can subscribe, maybe turn on the notification. If you wanted to show me some love this morning, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Again, I do this for you as a give back. And we'll go ahead and get started. Actually, today, I've got some questions from the author of The Millionaire Next Door. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we were lucky enough to interview Bill Danko, again, author of Millionaire Next Door. Also wrote the follow-on book, Richer Than a Millionaire. He was nice enough to send me an autographed copy. And of course, as you would probably suspect, I sent him an autographed copy of the book that preceded this YouTube channel. And I never thought he would read it. Never thought he would read it, but he did. And not only did he read it, he sent me feedback and questions. So I usually look to start these videos with some questions that are come in so we could talk about them. I can give you time to ask your question to get people to join. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read his short email, his summary of the book, which was an amazing honor to get. And then I will go ahead and try to answer his questions. So first and foremost, again, author Bill Danko, Millionaire Next Door, read one rental at a time. And this is what he had to say. Michael, I enjoyed reading about your journey. You demonstrate that a frugal lifestyle, kind of key of Millionaire Next Door, definitely, frugal lifestyle, anyone can become an investor in rentals. Moreover, acquiring 4 units over a few years is doable and a good start. Thank you, Bill. This is you have no idea what this means to me. Your emphasis on long-term wealth is commendable. I am glad you are clear-headed. This is, again, pretty awesome to hear. I do have a few questions, though. So, again, we're leading with Bill's questions. Where do you get your affordability index? So, again, one of the things, if you haven't read the book, you should, that saved us from the 2008 crash is something called the Affordability Index. It basically tells me how affordable the average home is in your market. So for me, in California, I am lucky enough to have it produced by the California Association of Realtors, aka CAR, right? CAR. Other states are produced, but I can't speak to them. In California, it is CAR. It is produced monthly. And the beauty of the Affordability Index in California and likely other states is it is historical. You can go look it up and see the trend, right? And if you can go back and look at the California Association of Realtors Affordability Index over decades, and it clearly shows, every time affordability gets below 20% in a city or county like Fresno, you are on the cusp of some nasty, nasty things. Last time, I think it got as low as 14. So when it does that, it flashes a yellow flag at 20. And then if it gets to 18, I'm out. I'll sell everything, at least all my houses. And so that's where I get it, Bill. It's produced by California Association of Realtors. It's an easy Google search. It's published monthly. And again, it's historical. So you can go back and look at it over decades. How timely is it? Again, it's monthly. And just for example, this year it's already changed. And as Bill, as you know, but we'll say for the audience, the affordability index is basically made up of 3 metrics: price, average price, interest rate, average interest rate, and income. Income is the third. And we've actually seen the affordability index in Fresno, again, the market I watch, expand this year. It came into January at 47. We have since seen interest rates fall, prices rise, but now it is 50. So it is actually safer today than January, again, using that index as an example. Obviously, lots of other stuff going on, but that's the first couple of questions, Bill. Continuing with his email to me, it makes sense to buy property below the median. Good. This black swan of COVID can change markets quickly, even those below the median. Yes, and it can have surprising changes. Bill, if you were watching my channel probably in February, maybe March, probably March, you will know I got pretty conservative. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Right? Retreat, watch, which a lot of people did. But what quickly happened is we started seeing urban flight. We started seeing urban cities get hit. We started seeing urban areas that were already ridiculously unaffordable have exodus. And what we're seeing now, again, in my market and many markets across the country, is remarkably low inventory and crazy high demand. And one of the lending markets that is working today is FHA, first-time buyers. Banks, investor loans, harder to get. Other types of financing, harder to get. Equity lines, harder to get. But boy, if you want to be a first-time buyer and you have the 3.5% down in decent credit, cake, easy to get done. Banks, the government, Fed is buying those loans hands over fist every month. So yeah, I would say the black swan event surprised me. It just did, right? And I would have never guessed demand would have been up this much. I remember complaining a decade or so ago about inventory at 2.1 months supply, and now it's, right around 1 month. So yeah, you just never know where black swan could be. I believe consumer behavior is changing, Bill. Neither one of us was around in the Great Depression, but we both know that impacted generations. I believe this is our outlier event that will change consumer behavior. My hope is consumers save more. We stop frivolous spending. We see an uptick in home ownership. We get out of $4,200 shoe boxes in San Francisco and become homeowners somewhere else. So I think there's going to be a lot of good that comes from this. But yeah, this is definitely a black swan of it. So continuing with your email, who are your team members? I remember reading a book about 50 years ago called Maintenance with Main Tenants, something like that. Or something like that. That's funny. That's what he says. Or do you have full-time employees? So no, I have 0 full-time employees. My life is about, frankly, being lazy and not adding complexities. One thing I will never have going forward is employees. I don't want that in my life. The hardest thing about running teams, being first or second line, is managing people. And just not going to do that, frankly. But who are my team members? That's a good question. I'll answer it this way. When you're starting out investing, most people start with a bank and real estate agents. I don't necessarily think that's bad, but I would not put them first. For me, an out of area investor, I would go and get a property manager. I would do that first. Next, I would also, even before a bank and realtors, I would probably go property manager and then other real estate investors, or maybe a real estate meetup. Something I did not appreciate, I probably didn't highlight enough in my book, was it's not how many people you know, but how many people know you. That is something that I'm holding true, and it's really been pretty self-evident in this market where there's no supply. The deals that have come my way during this event have come from people that know me and know what I look for. So that's something I didn't appreciate in the beginning. Next, California and New York have strong tenant protections. Yep, no kidding. I can imagine that squatters can readily get public defender. Absolutely. But short of squatters, what about tenants who are under financial strain? I know you say you don't listen to excuses, but this can get ugly. So Bill, in the book, we talk about normal times, right? Normal environments where, tenants miss payments and, you get one chance to lie to me, or things I talk about in the book. This is different, right? This black swan event. We went and talked to our property managers. I remember a Sunday back in March, identifying where the risks and problems are. We have over communicated. I certainly have a couple of tenants playing games. One right away in March. The other one started in June. So I'm down, I don't know, somewhere between 45 and 50 grand in missed rent collectively across all our units now, which certainly not fun. But, you know, I stand by the fact that 95% of my tenants are doing the right thing. Some need to be reminded. And this time is my chance to give back. I have probably forgiven $10,000 to $12,000 in rent already. We have done things like, if you bring in 500, we'll credit you 1,000. We're working with as many people as we can. If any of my tenants communicate with us, I will absolutely work with them. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I could take a couple of months of a haircut. That said, I'm also in a financial position where if you really want to play games with me and not communicate and be one of those, I will file the eviction as soon as it's legally available. I will go through the whole process and I will hit you with a judgment. Your choice. Again, giving up lots of free rent, giving rent doubles or credits or whatever you want to call that. This is my chance to give back a little bit. My family, when I was growing up, I remember packing up a couple of times because we were like, I remember one weekend being, we were going to get kicked out on a Monday. I remember that. And if you're working with me, I never want to put your family through that situation. So I've given up plenty of rent and will continue to do it because, dude, we're only in the middle of September. I bet you by the end of this, by the end of December, let's assuming the CDC thing doesn't get extended, which I actually think it will, which is just frightening. I bet you we've given up 25 to 30,000 in rent, give back, whatever you want to call it, credits. And we probably are over 50 grand in rent from people that are playing games. So that's where we are. All right, that's enough. Yeah. So again, yes, California, New York, very tenant friendly. Yeah, it just is what it is. Again, you can learn the market, you can find affordable, you can do the right thing. I'm not taking my portfolio anywhere else. I'm still adding, as my channel knows. I think every state has its pluses and minuses. Texas is one I get compared with a lot. And yes, Texas tenant laws are far more landlord friendly, but that CDC order, that affects Texas too. And then again, Texas, from a landlord, at least a buy and hold landlord, is a little bit tougher because property taxes can crush your cash flow every year when they adjust. So those are my thoughts. So again, another shout out, Bill Danko, author of Millionaire Next Door and Richer Than a Millionaire, 2 books I've read. And actually I'm reading Millionaire. It's my daily read right now. I'm reading Millionaire Next Door again right now. And Bill, thank you very much for reading it. I'm going to send you this link and tell you it's in the answers are in the first 13 minutes. Much appreciated. And I'm going to keep this email just as a reminder of something. So let me put that away. I'll put that in the book as my bookmark. All right. So what questions do I have from the audience? I don't have any questions yet. Good morning, Carpe Diem. Good morning, Ryan Ruff. Good morning, Ultimate Bargains. Yes, Carpe Diem. Yeah, the shoebox, the $4,200 shoebox in San Francisco. Crazy. Yes, and I will absolutely hang in there. Are there any questions from the audience? If not, this will be a short show. We won't go the full hour. Did anybody see Ken McElroy's video this morning about a 2021 housing crash? It's like 6 or 7 minutes. I'm going to do a live stream on that later. Love to get your thoughts if you had any. Do you see February as a seller's market? Do you see February as a seller's market? I'm going to guess, logical thinker, that you're talking about next February, I'm guessing. I think what you're asking is, do I think the seller's market will continue into February? Because clearly, most markets today, we are in a seller's market. I think the seller market starts to wane in April, kind of March, April. February is probably too close. We're still coming out of the winter, all of that. Yeah, I think the seller's market starts to loosen up April of 2021. I'll answer it that way. Calling a month is really hard, as you know, logical thinker. But yeah, I think by next April it starts to loosen up. That's why I keep telling folks, especially new investors, now's the time to learn. The market's going to be changing. In some markets pretty substantially, right? Big cities. So now's the time to learn. I get some new investors that say, okay, great, it's going to change in April. I'm not going to do anything to April. Stop it. That's absolutely the wrong thing to do. If you only start learning your market in April, you won't do anything till July. This is the time to learn. I have plenty of students in my course that are making good offers today and not getting deals. And frankly, that is a good thing. Today, in today's tight market, investors probably shouldn't get a lot of deals. Owner occupants can pay more. So again, I think that's a good thing. My course teaches you how to make good offers. And when you make a good offer and don't get it, that is okay. Don't feel like you have to get in bidding wars. And frankly, I say don't. Know your numbers. I've walked away from deals for, is less than $5,000. Because again, you keep raising your offer, a good or great deal becomes a bad or average deal pretty quickly. So know your market, know your market, know your market. So logical thinker, I'm going to say about April. All right. Lots of people are going to watch Ken McElroy. I thought it was interesting. I will do my reaction video or feedback on it after this probably. Are wholesalers bringing to you any good deals? Man, ultimate bargains, Jeffrey. So let's just answer it this way. In 2019, so last year, for the full year, I probably got 40% of my deals from wholesalers, and they were somewhere between good and great deals. There was some meat on the bone, all very profitable. This year, during this health crisis, damn, every deal coming from wholesalers are list price. There was an apartment deal that came from a wholesaler, 16 units, kind of right my neck of the woods. 1.4. I think it's worth 1.3. There was a house that just came up, a little nothing house, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I think retail is 140. A wholesaler brought to me at 125. I'm like, how can I make any money at 125 when you have to do renovations? So no, I haven't gotten a good wholesale deal since February 1st. I closed one deal in a little part of town called the Tower. February 1st this year was the only wholesale deal I've got this year. And that was pre-pandemic. I closed on that at $98,000. Did some remodel, and we'll be selling that for $160,000. I've only got one deal from wholesalers this year. The inventory seems to be tight everywhere. So yeah, not yet. Everyday exercise. Me suggesting to raise cash and study short sale market. Yep. That's what Ken said. Yeah. I will give my feedback later, but yeah, Ken had 4 things he talked about. Definitely raising cash was number 1. Logical thinker. Yep. Oh, Jeffrey, ultimate bargains. Yeah, I actually talked to April. Actually, you probably saw it. Was that yesterday? Day before? When was that? That was Thursday. Yeah, she's jumping in RV. I talked to her off camera or off recording. Yeah, she's selling it. She should be out end of September, first part of October. She's got her RV. Her son has got his own house. They are just going to go on the road. That is awesome. Can you imagine doing that? She's relatively young, right? I hate guessing ages, but she's probably younger than me. Yeah, it's a great, empty nester and she's not slowing down. I actually talked to her about that. Some people were telling me she's selling all her rentals. That's not true. She's done a couple of titles that way, but that's not, if you actually watch the videos versus just look at the titles, she's not doing that. she's still going to be growing her business. So yeah, I think April is a wonderful, wonderful person. I'm so lucky to get to know her. Every day, yeah. Ken says Las Vegas at 34% unemployment, but stops short of suggesting invest in Vegas. Yep, Ken. Yeah, 34% unemployment. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah. Again, I'll say this later in a much shorter video, but yeah, Ken is saying. Ken is basically saying, learn your market. There's going to be tremendous opportunities, and all markets aren't going to be the same. He did give examples. In 2008, again, I just watched it, so I took notes. He said he bought 2,000 units in Vegas. That's probably mainly, well, I'm going to guess all apartments. He's a multifamily guy. Yeah, 34% unemployment. In 2008, he bought 2,000 units in Vegas. There will be some tremendous buying opportunities in Vegas. You just can't have that kind of unemployment without pain, right? Just pain. Are you still purchasing to rent or temp hold until COVID clears it up a bit? I'm starting to sell. So I bought a bunch, 4 or 5 earlier this year. I just talked about the one I bought February 1st. I bought those and I just held them. I didn't want to be selling them in this crisis. I did a video on that back in March, I think. No, I actually just put I just put 4 in the contract like last week. So no, I'm selling them now. There's no supply. And I'm getting prices a little bit higher than I thought I would get. So I'm selling now. The market in Fresno is, I've never seen it like this. So yeah, I'm selling now. It's easy to sell. I'm also selling my worst performing property. Might as well get it out of the portfolio. Take the opportunity to clear it up. I'm going to have a huge capital gain. Might as well sell it now before capital gains tax changes. Ryan Ruff, take the course, learn your market. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the plug. I wish more people would do it. Part of me thinks if I charged more people would take it, but I'm not going to do that. It's crazy. The time is now. Yep. Ultimate bargains. Remember, I can pay your price when you can accept my terms. That statement and the subtleties in it, Jeffrey, are my opinion going to be extremely key in the second half of 2021 and probably all of 2022. And it's actually going to be a pretty key element of where I disagree with Ken McElroy. In short, I don't see the wave or tsunami coming that he does. And I'm going to talk about that. And the main twist on that, Jeffrey, is going to be that statement. I don't mind giving you your price as long as I get your terms. And that lots of people are going to have mortgages at rates that I am going to like and have value in. So yes. Everyday exercise. Any thoughts on investing in hotels or hospitality ETFs? So there's really 2 questions there. I do not invest in any stocks, aka ETFs. I include ETFs in that. I do not have the time or inclination to research an ETF and where they have holdings and what they're doing with them. There is part of me that would look at like if there was a Fresno hotel that closed, for example, maybe 40 to 50 units. I know there's an investor in my market who's a good friend of mine who has on occasion bought hotels and turned them into efficiency units for affordable housing. I might look at that. So it's kind of a second question to your question. Don't invest in stocks. Don't own ETFs. A question I get asked all the time is, when would you invest in stocks? And the only answer is if the stock market ever drops 50% or more, I'll look. This last crash was 30, 31, 32. Didn't even start looking. Wouldn't even bother. Didn't even bother. But yeah, I expect some hotels in Fresno to get hammered. I expect some hotels to come up for options. I would expect to evaluate a couple of hotels in the next 12 to 18 months, smaller ones. We're talking 40 to 50 units. I have a friend in Fresno who has done that before. I would look at doing that, right? Turning a hotel into basically an apartment with efficiency units. I would look at that. Carpetium, that's great. I forget what was great. What was his question? Yep, I'm selling. Yep, awesome. Apartments and houses can be bought with creative financing when asking price doesn't make sense for delivering cash at closing. Absolutely. And just so we're clear, if this gets, if I believe the pain's going to be in commercial debt, so it's the kind of stuff that Ken McElroy buys. I have 3 examples in 2010 of buying apartments directly from banks, or actually 2 from banks, 1 from an owner who foreclosed. Yeah, I had, let's make sure I say this correctly. I didn't have to put down payments on any of those apartments. So that was 51 units I bought, 0 down. I did have to escrow some repair money in each case, but no down payments. Creative financing is going to be a thing second half of 2021 and probably all of 2022, in my opinion. Layla, what do we got? I took part of an auction this week, bowed out when profit margins got too slim for me. Thanks for permission not to overspend. Yes, folks, this if you learn anything from, so if you take my course, even if you just follow this channel, 1, I want you to believe it's possible. 1 rental at a time is possible. If you only get to 4, you have a better future. Step 1. 2, I want you to know exactly what I did. Learn your market. And what does that mean? That means you know what average deal looks like. And as Layla just talked about, once you know what average is, that gives you confidence to bid on a number that makes sense. She's taking part in an auction. And then you stop. You don't get into this bidding war and you're like ego. And it's not the time. This is promise you, this will not last forever. Promise you, it will change. Do your homework, make offers that make sense. I have made more offers this year and not gotten counters than any year in my investing history. Any year. I would say of the 50 offers I've written in the last 90 days, I've got 0 counters. 0. Because I only write offers that are good or great deals. And I feel great about that. I know my numbers. If it works for the seller, great. If it doesn't, I'll move on to the next. The worst mistake today, my opinion, is feeling like you have to do something this year. Like I got to get one. I had a yearly goal. I was going to be a landlord in 2020. Well, you know what? Save your money. Write an offer that makes sense. If you get it, awesome. I clap for you. But I will clap for you if you write an offer and don't get it as well. It is hard to buy your first investment when owner occupants are paying so much. So be like Layla, know your numbers, and just back out when the numbers don't make sense. Key to lifestyle. Key to lifestyle. I like that name. I will be focusing on short sales and marketing that way. I think key to lifestyle, you're in Florida. If so, yeah, I think short sales are going to be a big deal in Florida. I do not think short sales will be a big deal across the country. That's where Ken and I kind of disagree and agree all at the same time because I'm splitting some of his words. Short sales will be a big deal. Vegas, Orlando, Miami, but not in most markets. So if I'm mistaken keys to lifestyle and you're in Nashville, Tennessee or something, know your market, learn your market, because short sales will be an issue in lots of markets, but not every market. Nathan, when do you think it'll be a good time to trade up from a single family and multifamily in a 1031 exchange? Well, again, Nathan, I don't know your market. It could be good now. I am planning to repeat what I did in my book, probably 2023, 2024, maybe 2025. But let's just average that as 2024. Multifamily and single family do not run in the same cycle. Read my book, figure out what I'm talking about. Right now, multifamily is closer to a peak, in my opinion. You know, you can argue, is it on this side of the peak or this side of the peak? Or near a peak. It could go higher. Absolutely. Could go higher. I think it could stabilize. As I've said, I changed my opinion on multifamily earlier this crisis, at least in the suburbs. But I'm adding houses. I think it's going to be about houses. I think, as Jeffrey says, it's going to be about creative financing. I think most of that debt will be in the single family market. I think commercial debt, multifamily, bridge loans, value add, there's just more time. They can buy time. And I think that wave doesn't even start until middle of next year, maybe September of next year, maybe a year from today. So while waiting for multifamily to kind of blow up, I am going to be buying houses. So in my market, let's just call it 2024 to pick a time frame, but every market is different. So I don't know yours. The lenders have turned very dovish compared to 2008, so I wouldn't worry about due on sale clauses. Lenders don't want foreclosure. They want payments. Yes, Jeffrey, ultimate bargains. This is exactly why will probably be the main driver of my disagreement with Ken McElroy this morning is banks they were strict and stupid all at the same time in 2008, 9, and 10. They are not going to repeat that mistake. You come in with I will make up back payments, keep it whole offer. Most are not going to foreclose. Most. There's always a stupid banker out there somewhere, but I agree with you. And that's why I'm going to disagree with Ken in the video I do later today. Any courses on option to buys? I don't know if he has a course. The guy I follow is Pace Morby, PACEMORBY. He's out of Arizona. I've met him a couple times. I think he's been on this channel a couple times. Yep. You talk about writing an offer on a good deal. I just wonder how you write the offer. Do I need an agent for that? Well, again, if you're offering out of the multiple listing service, yes, at least in California, you will write that through an agent. But again, if you're new, just call up the listing broker, right? Call up the listing agent, say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I want to make an offer on listing 123. This is what I can offer, right? Just because it's actually not written on paper, a verbal offer is an offer. But do yourself a favor. If you don't have an agent you're working with, you haven't worked out who's who, say, of the 50 offers I've written in the last 90 days, 20 of them probably have gone through the listing agent. I'm lucky enough to be in a market for 20 years, so I have 3 or 4 agents that they have my offers as a template, so it takes some seconds, maybe a minute. But yeah, just when in doubt, call a listing agent. Carpe diem. Regarding options to buy, have a real estate lawyer make a deed of contract for you, about $500, and if it get 10% down, if they fail to meet the contract, you keep the down. Yeah, the creative. It is going to be it's going to be fun, and it's a skill I've admitted many times I do not have yet. The 20 years I've been doing it, it really hasn't been the thing. I think it may be the thing going forward. Yes, keys to lifestyle. Jeffrey's model, as he shares with lots of his questions, is creative finance. He's also talked about, I think he's put this in another comment, so I'm not putting him on blast. He's looking at Vegas to maybe take on the 52 deals in 52 deals in 52 weeks thing in the future. I think I'm going to guess he's going to do that in 2022. Just because he can. He just goes like that. Keys. Oh, so you're in North Carolina, not Florida. I was wrong. I don't know North Carolina at all, so I can't say. But I mean, learn your market. I don't know if short sales will be a big deal in North Carolina, right? Was there a lot of buying? Were there a lot of tourists? Were there a lot of out of state, Chinese money coming that they're not coming back? I don't know. I don't know if short sales will dominate in North Carolina. I have no idea. I think that was your question from before. What are your thoughts on new construction now? Worth the buy? I have not found a new construction in my market that makes sense. But again, that's the ultimate turnkey, right? totally clean, probably have a warranty. If you can make a new construction work as a rental, and if you can make the return a good or great deal, let me know what market you're in, because I've never seen one. Most new construction in my market doesn't pencil as cash flow, because at least in California, and now again, my experience in California may make me biased and have a huge blind spot. Maybe this works in other states and I just need to wake up. But given the time frame and lot premiums and just all the fees, you really can't build a new home in California, even in Fresno, for less than 400 grand. And even if they're in North Fresno, you're going to get like 2,100, 2,200 rent. Those don't cash flow. But if you're in another state or city where you can get new construction that truly cash flows, take a look. Seriously, take a look. Also, send me what state you're in, because I might want to take a look, just so we can let other people know. Oh, stream is choppy. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Yes, there is a book, 52 Houses in 52 Weeks. Will be a great read. Oh, Theo, you're in Fresno. Okay. I have not seen new construction work in Fresno, as I've just said. Yeah. I mean, you can get some stuff in the mid threes, but mid 300 grands, but yeah, it's not, doesn't make sense, at least for my numbers. I don't know where Bonneville homes are. What are their prices? Again, if you can get new construction to be a good deal, go for it. Take care, Jeffrey. We'll see you at 9 o'clock for the student hour. Usually turns into the student half hour. Again, folks, if you have purchased your course, my course, know that every Saturday at 9 o'clock Pacific, we do a Facebook Live just for students, because everybody does the same homework and questions. So it's good time. Okay, 260 to 280. Check your rents. I'm going to guess they have homeowners association. I think you're talking about condos, Theo. They have a homeowners association, which really hurts. But I'll look it up. Bonneville Homes. Any more questions? This may be a short hour, be 40 minutes. All right. Well, question. Do you forecast interest rates will do in the next 6 months? Yep. Oh, see, look at that. HOA, $120. Told you. I know the market. And just to answer the HOA question I always get, HOA is like a mortgage you never pay off. And oh, by the way, it can go up. One of the things you should learn about HOA, especially in Vegas, Miami, is it's very easy to have a busted HOA, which means you can have a lot of people not paying their HOA fee, and then you get a one-time assessment. Talk about ouch. That hurts. So JC's question, what do you forecast interest rates will do for the next 6 months? I'm going to assume that question is 30-year mortgages. They're not going to go above 3%. I do not think they're going to go above 3% for the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah. I think disinflation is still our short-term problem before inflation. I actually think if you said 30-year rates were 2.75 today on September 19th, I think I don't see them going up in 6 months. And if they do anything, I could see them going down. And how crazy is that? See them going down from 2.75? It's crazy. Again, let's just be clear, right? I think out-of-state investing can work. I think it has a lot more pain and risks than lots of people make it sound. So I am apprehensive because there's no easy button. You got to do the work. You got to go visit it. I've just interviewed 2 kids that are, well, I shouldn't be disrespectful, 2 young adults in their early 20s who are buying in Notre Dame. No, Notre Dame's the college. They're buying in South Bend, Indiana. Again, it can work, but folks, you can go broke buying cheap. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's a good deal. There's going to be a lot of people that bought cheap stuff in other states that aren't going to enjoy the next couple of years. But again, what I teach and what I talk about one rental at a time, it works anywhere. I just chose at the very beginning not to get on an airplane to go see my stuff. I've told you many times, I hate flying. If I can go the rest of my life and not fly again, that will be okay. So that was my thing. It's clearly my issue. I think out-of-state investing is fine if you do the work. It's just most people don't do the work. They believe the spreadsheet, and that is bad. So that's what I think. That's what I think. So it can work, but you got to do the work. You got to have boots on the ground. The biggest issue with out-of-state investing, in my opinion, is most people rely on a team they're paying. You need boots on the ground that you're not paying. The barrier I have is, will they show up at your funeral? If you have trusted boots on the ground, family member, cousin, uncles, aunts, college roommate that will drive by your stuff once a month and then tell you, holy cow, this guy's parking on the lawn. Hey, do you know you got a big hole in the roof? Okay. But if you're only getting information from people you pay, it's amazing how much half-truths you get, in my opinion. Yep, property manager will be needed out of state, no question. Yes, you got to go there. One of the things that you will see if you go back and watch the interview with Scott and Cade is they were only planning to go to their market once every 90 days. And I told them point blank that was a mistake. They need to go to their markets and learn it. These guys come from Fresno where it never snows. Now they're buying rentals where it snows. I'm going to guess that snow can cause problems, and they need to go experience and go figure out what's going on. And yes, you must inspect your properties all the time. Nobody will manage your stuff like you. Guys, Ruben's watching. Ruben was a great interview on the interview yesterday. He's a one rental at a time guy. In the beginning, several times a year. Nowadays, because I have systems and processes in place, a lot less. But in the beginning, a lot. And that's why I fired Theo, five property managers, because it's amazing what happens when you tell them you're coming, and then it's amazing when you have a surprise inspection. It just happens. And doing that out of state, man, and then again, out of state, you got to pay for flights, you got to pay for meals, you got to pay for hotels. Where's that come from? Cash flow. That cash flow gets pretty skinny pretty quick. All right, folks, we're going to call it 45 minutes today. Thank you very much for joining. I am going to get ready to talk to my students at 9 o'clock. That's always a good time. Again, learn your market. I think I'm going to do my students first, and then I'll do Ken McElroy after that. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.